Hospital edition. General Hospitals edition. All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. It was solid, 7.58. Child, Trina's stressing me out. Okay. Today is Wednesday, April the 19th, 2023, and we're gonna jump right into it. We see Curtis and Laura, right? So we see Curtis and Laura, and they're talking because Esme has went on about her business. She was there with Laura, and Curtis is just like, how can you be around Esme? And she said, honestly, she's not the same girl. And he says, well, I'm finna go down here and find Trina. I'm going down to the police station and find out why Jordan ain't gave me an update. I need an update. And she said, Curtis, Jordan got so much stress going on right now. She got so much going on, missing children, you know, oh, Liesel is missing. Um, she's got too much going on right now trying to track down Victor to see what his plans were. Anna being shot. She don't have time for the like you gonna go down there and add more stress to her. And he was like, you right, you right. And so they continue to talk because I'm not gonna hold y'all long. They continue to talk or whatever, and she talks about she thinks that Esme, because he again brings up Esme, and she says she thinks that Esme's memory, it might not come back, but who knows, because the memory is a fickle thing, and you can never tell what someone will remember. And then he says Drew, and she like, what about Drew? At this point, Esme comes up to her, and she tells her, that she tells Curtis, Trina was really kind to her, and she hopes that he finds her. And he tells her, I hope you find the baby as we find the baby as well. So Esme had been, and that's it with Trina. I mean, Curtis and all them. And so Esme had been with Elizabeth because she was filling out she got hit on her head, so they was checking her out and they were discharging and all that. And so she was just like, do you need anything, Esme? What's going on? And she said, I need to speak to Dr. Gatlin Holt. So she speaks to him and he tells her, Esme, everything's gonna be fine. Your baby has colic, but colic fixes itself. And she's like, who's gonna be rocking my baby? Who's doing things to me, who's gonna be taking care of my baby, making sure everything's okay? And so that's when Elizabeth tells her that Spencer is gonna make sure his baby brother is good. You know, he'll do everything in his power to protect him and make sure he's not in discomfort and everything. She said, so you're saying I'm not needed as a mother? I said, nobody said that, Esme. Nobody said that. But I get what she's saying. Y'all know I get what she's saying. So she was just like, she just overwhelmed, and she's overwhelmed, and she's stressed out because her child is missing, kidnapped by this crazy man Victor, because baby, he's got a few of them loose. But anyways, Esme goes back over to Laura, and she tells her that Laura says it's time to go home, but she don't want to go home because she says Ace is not there. So Laura just pulls her into her arms because it's sad. So then Dr. Holt and Elizabeth talks, and she said, thank you for reassuring Esme. And he said, yeah, I mean, she cool or whatever. And he was like, plus he's just doing his job. And then he sees Amy looking at him. He said, but could you do me a favor and tell me why Amy looking at me like that? And then Amy going, because Elizabeth like, what's going on? Would you need something with Dr. Holt? And she said, he should stay away from Ava. I said, oh, not too much on my girl. And she said, yeah, like you don't know who she is. So she trying to get the gossiping and stuff. And Elizabeth said, don't you have files to do or fill out? And she said, no, or charts. And she said, no. She said, you do now. Get your gossiping self on, because Austin didn't want to hear that. And so Elizabeth said, I'm sorry, who you date or whatever is going on, that's none of your business. But they did say, Amy did say, she divorced Nicholas, and all of a sudden he go missing. And Elizabeth looked at Austin, and Austin, she was like, when Amy leaves, she was like, I'm sorry about that. And he was like, you can't help, people gossip and all that. She said, but he said, that's why you'll make a good head nurse. And she said, because Epiphany wouldn't have stood there and instead for people sitting up here gossiping, not the nurses like that. No, ma'am, she wouldn't have done it. And so he sees Ava, because Ava is there trying to find Portia. He said everything isn't always what it seems. Show ain't y'all. So then we see Ava had before she goes and tries to find Portia, she been with Carly, and she trying to tell, because Carly came over to um Windermere because she wants to invite Avery to the wedding. They want her to be the flower girl. So Avery really excited about it and stuff. So she's like, yeah, I want to do it. So anyways, she gonna be the flower girl, and Nina, excuse me, Ava is telling Carly about Nina. She's like, "Can you try to bridge the gap?" And she said, "What do you mean? How can you even be friends with her and everything?" And Nina says, "Yeah, I still see the woman who took my child from me, but I try not to think about that because I know that woman was disturbed." And Carly was like, "Well, I still see your whole situation with Morgan and all that. And so I'll get past it because of I get past it because of Avery." And so, that was a tough a little wound to Ava. And so she cried a little bit, but she says, "Listen, Willow doesn't have much time, and you could bridge this gap if you wanted to. But time is running out for Nina and Willow, and it's up to you, Carly, because you're the one that could make peace in all this. You got to decide if you want to do it or not." Because she said, if you don't, you'll have regrets. Because I got this big house and stuff, but there's regrets in, there's no peace. And so Carly said, "Are you doing all this because of Trina?" And then Ava was like, "What do you mean, Trina?" And then Carly looking like, "Oh, yeah," because she didn't know Carly. So then Carly has to tell her about Trina. And Ava said, "Stay here with Avery. I got to go see Portia to see if there's an update because everybody know Ava loved Trina like a daughter." And so she was like, "Okay, okay, fine." So she leaves out, right? So then we go over here and we see Nina and Sonny, and they're talking, and he's telling her that Brooklyn let them know that Willow is and Michael are getting married. And she says, "Oh, well, that's the beginning of the end, Sonny." He said, "Why?" Because Sonny looking at it like they're getting married, they're declaring their love, and she's looking at it like they sped up the wedding to tomorrow, like they're having a wedding tomorrow. That's because they know she doesn't have much time. I said, quiet as kept. Willow has been knocking at death's door for months. Like, when are y'all gonna either heal this girl or kill her off? Like, what is going on? I'm sorry, I don't mean to be insensitive with it, but God, she has been in this state for months now where it's, oh, she doesn't have much time. Oh my gosh, this could be it. Girl, that girl is hanging on. Let's move on. So, anyways, she's talking to him, and he gets a call from Michael, and Michael says, "Where are you?" He tells him, "I'm in the chapel." He says, "I need to speak to you." And he says, "I can come over." Michael says, "No, Willow and the babies are sleeping. I'm gonna come to you." And he said, "All right, cool." And so he goes. So Sonny tells Nina, "Be optimistic. Stop looking at it in a bad way. They're getting married." And they both said, "Yeah." Michael comes in and he hears them saying, "Yeah, we're happy for them at the end of the day. Even if we can't be there, we're still happy because Nina says, I know your son loves my daughter and he wants to take care of her." So Michael comes in, and Nina, she congratulates Michael and she leaves. She gives them their space. And Michael tells Sonny, that he's invited to the wedding. Of course, Nina is not invited to the wedding. And at this point, Nina comes back. What you want, mama? At that point, Nina comes back in because she forgot her purse. So, it bothered her a little bit, but she understands the game. So she was like, "Okay, I just want you to tell Willow." And she was upset. I don't care what y'all say. Cynthia be acting her tail off. So she was upset. So, but she told Michael, just tell Willow, that I'm thinking about her. And then she leaves. And for a minute there, Sonny was like, he wasn't gonna come to the wedding. But then Michael said, "It sounded like you didn't want to come. If Nina's not invited." He says, "Well, I just need to know, who is the invite from? Is it from you and Willow, or is it just from Willow?" And Michael says, "I want to do what's right for the family." So I guess that's his roundabout way saying it's for both from both of us or something. But he ain't really actually say that. And so he says, "But I understand that this might cause problems with Nina. So just let me know." And Sonny said, "I already made up my decision. I'm coming to the wedding." So then Nina was all upset. So she go over to Ava's house because they're friends, and Carly is there. Baby, I can't wait to get into tomorrow's episode because I got feelings. But anyways, so then we see Victor sitting down eating. You want some hand sanitizer? We see Victor sitting down eating, and they telling him about all this stuff. Like, they were like, it's a walkie-talkie missing and all this other stuff. And Victor said, "I don't have time to think about this. What you worry about is not having the door unlocked with Spencer, because it was like it's some weird stuff going on around here." But he not putting two and two together at this point. So then Trina come back in the room with Spencer, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, that good news to stay." I said, "Please stay in this room. You are stressing me out, young lady. I am stressed." But anyways, he glad she's safe, and she said she was able to reach out to their mom, and she hopes that she's gave them the correct coordinates and everything so that they could come and hurry up and rescue them. And so Spencer says, girl, let me tell you, I knew my great uncle was crazy, but he's crazy, crazy. So he started telling her about Victor's plan, and she said, it's all on us, Spencer. We got to do what we got to do. So she about to leave again. I said, Trina, I can't take it. My nerves are shot with you leaving this room like this. But she said, I got to go. And so Spencer was like, okay. Sorry. So then Spencer, she ends up leaving the room, and at that time, the baby is fussing. The nanny can't get the baby. I said she can't do her job. And so Victor brings the baby to Spencer because he was like, something is wrong with this baby. Fine, fix him. And so Spencer was like, he has colic. And so I said this Spencer and this baby been acting together because every time he sees him, he starts smiling. It's like they must act together a lot. He must be holding them all the time on set. Anyways, y'all, so Spencer just tells him, you don't have to do this plan. And then Spencer finds out Valentine is alive because Victor tells him, he wanted Valentine to do it. But, he was like, so he's alive. He said, yeah, that was just a ruse. So while I was mourning, wasting time, I could have been doing my plan. Valentine had me wasting time, and he was alive the whole time. And so Spencer was like, well, just do your plan with Valentine, trying to buy some time. And Victor said, no. And you don't get too comfortable with everything because, don't get too comfortable with everything because I don't trust you 100% now either. And so he was like, okay. So then Victor leaves out because they said we got a problem. And so Victor leaves out, and that leaves Spencer and the baby together. Now Spencer on the door listening, and they tell him that the engine is messed up because Trina said she was going to the engine to try to slow the ship down. And they said the pilot or the captain said if he can't get it fixed, they're gonna have to get a vessel to come rescue him. He said, you tell him he better get it fixed or he gonna be left on this boat with the rest of them. And so then Victor hears Spencer at the door because he hears Baby Ace. Baby Ace couldn't stay quiet. And so Victor started thinking about all the stuff that's went wrong. And he said, I know what's going on. He said, do exactly what I tell you to do. I said, oh no, Lord, Trina, Trina, Trina. So then Trina, they say all hands on deck in this room, and so Trina trying to slip back in the Spencer room, baby. Spencer ain't in there because Victor has him in the eating area, and he has him in there, and he said, Spencer's like, what are we doing here? And they take baby Ace from him to go take him back to the nanny. He said, you don't have to cause any more diversions. And Spencer was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He said, oh, you sure you don't? And here comes Trina, her cute self. Get your hands off me. Cause she got caught trying to sneak in the Spencer room. I said, "Oh damn!" And then y'all see tomorrow's preview where Portia gonna say she's never gonna be with him again. I said, girl, this is the little new Luke and Laura. You not gonna keep Trina away from Spencer, baby. At this point, she's 19, about to go into 20. There's nothing you can do. You can disapprove all you want to, but she wants to be with this young man because they kissing and stuff. They're on this mission. I said, all right, they'll put him on that 60 GH cover, baby. There's nothing you can do to stop this. But anyways, y'all, that was General Hospital today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow for an all new episode of What Happened on the Soaps General Hospital edition. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.